Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today is November 6th, 2024, and if you watch my life update video, then you know what today is. Today is Wednesday, which means it's time for Juanita Wednesdays. And if you don't know what Juanita Wednesdays is, I explained it in my life update video, which would be every Wednesday going forward. I will post a video on a topic, you know, and I'm going to basically have like my own, I guess, like talk show. That's what you can. So, you know, I feel like this video is way overdue and it's time for me to speak my truth on some situation that happened. And, you know, because I'm just tired of feeling like the bad guy. So the one I'm going to talk about is my oldest child's father. My oldest child's father's name is Timothy. I met him in 2017. I met him doing armed security. So here's a little backstory. And this story is long because it's happened over a period of 7 years. And, you know, like I said, I just finally decided to get my truth out there. So here it goes. And I don't care who got something to say about this because it's going to be a lot of information. So get your tea, get your snacks, get whatever you want because this story gets juicy. So I met my son's father, my first son's father, in 2017. We worked doing armed security together. So we worked at the same company, and the company would give me their vehicle to use as I'm going to and from work, because the security positions, it was in different cities and I didn't have a vehicle at that time. So the security company I was working for did let me use the vehicles. And like when I wasn't on the schedule, they would make me go pick up the other people who needed to ride home and stuff like that. They would make me go pick up other people or drop them off at work and stuff like that. So it was an okay job. Now, I was 20 years old. My son's father was 25 at the time. So I met him doing armed security. You know, one day I had to go pick him up and take him to work in a security car, and I had my best friend in the car with me, and I thought he would tell, but he didn't. So I went to go pick him up, and I dropped him off at work. That was the first time. And that was like August. It was like, yeah, about August of 2017. So then in August of 2017, we had to work a shift. We both worked in the same city. And so he was working at the Waffle House. I was working at the 7-Eleven doing security. And so once I got off from my shift, I had to go pick him up from his shift at Waffle House doing security and take him back home. So I went to go pick him up and take him back home. You know, it was a casual conversation. How was your shift? Blah, blah, blah. I wasn't paying attention to him at the time because I was in a relationship. At that time, I did have a boyfriend. So I didn't pay him any mind when he was talking to me. So after that, after I dropped him off, a few days went by. It was cool. You know, he found me on Facebook. My son's father, he found me on Facebook and proceeded to inbox me. Well, you know, when you accept people friend requests on Facebook, you go through their pictures and stuff to see what they look like and stuff like that. He inboxed me, said, "Hey, you look familiar." And I was like, "Oh yeah, where you know me from?" He was like, "We worked together. You took me home." And I was like, "Oh yeah, well, if he seen my pictures, he would see on my page that I had a boyfriend at that time," which he seen because he was going through all my pictures, liking all of my stuff. So he seen that I had a boyfriend at that time. He didn't care. He proceeded to stay in my inbox talking about, "I'm going to make you my queen. Oh, you look so beautiful." Red flag at that. Then I'm asking him, "Oh, you know, you got your own crib or whatever?" He was like, "No, I live with my mama. She got MS in her legs." That's always been the story. However, she does, but that's just always been the story that he portrayed, or the reason why he lived with his mother. But it's other stuff. I get into all that later in the story. So he was like, "No, I live with my mama. She has MS in her legs. So I'm living with her, helping her out." I'm like, "Okay, cool. Do you got kids?" He was like, "Yeah, he got a daughter, but he wasn't with the baby mother." Red flag. I didn't have kids at that time. I should have blocked him, kept it moving. So anyway, while he's in my inbox, I told my ex-boyfriend, I'm showing him the messages. I'm like, "Look, he's in my inbox. He would not get in my inbox." So my boyfriend that I had at that time was like, "You know what, sis, he want to leave you alone." Mind you, he liking all the pictures of me and my ex. So you know I got a man. So my ex-boyfriend said, you know, since he won't leave you alone, use him for money. I said, okay. So that's what I did, you know. So I asked him, I said, you know, I'm finna get me a car. I was just $100 short. Can you give me $100? He was like, yeah, I got it to you. I get it to you when I get paid. At this time, I'm no longer working at the company anymore because I had got fired. Because I had ran off a shift when, I ran off a shift because they was shooting. And I was not trying to get shot, even though I was over security and I did have a gun. When things unfold and things happen, no, I dipped. And so the manager, after everything went down, the manager had called my manager and was like, yeah, she left. They had me on camera running as they were shooting. But anyway, so I got fired because I left the shift. So I'm no longer working at the company at this time while my baby daddy is hitting me up. So I'm like, yeah, do you got $100 I can borrow? I can have because I'm getting me a car. I'm just $100 short. I need it for insurance. Mind you, I wasn't getting a car. I was using him for money, like my boyfriend said at that time, because he wouldn't stay out of my inbox. And you seen I had a boyfriend. So he's like, yeah, come and get it. I'll give it to you when I get paid. So my mama took me to Food Lion to go get the money. My mama didn't know what she was dropping me off to do. She just know I was going to get money from somebody. But I didn't tell her who or what it was. I just said he owed me money, so I'm going to get some money. And my mom was like, you need to stop loaning people money, blah, blah, blah. Whole time she didn't know I was really using him for money, but that's another story. So I went to go get the money from Timothy. At that time, I did believe in love at first sight, even though it wasn't my first time seeing him. But at that moment when I did see him, I did believe in love at first sight. So like when I seen him, he had some long dreads. He was way skinnier then. And I don't know, he just looked good. And when I seen him, what I thought was love at first sight, I fell in love with him instantly. Like I don't know what it was. I just fell in love with him instantly. So after he gave me the money, we hugged, I left. You know, he texted me. He was like, oh, you know, you looked good. You know, you got some big lips. I like that or whatever, blah, blah, blah. So as I'm still getting the money, I went home to my apartment because I had my own apartment, me and my sister. I went home to my own apartment and I had $100. I had put $40 on my light bill. And then the rest of the money I got groceries with. You know, I put the money to use. I didn't spend it on dumb stuff. So a few days go by. He asked me, did you get your car? Did you get your car? And I'm just steady ignoring him. So finally, I didn't talk to him about it no more. We just stopped talking. But he steady texting me, but I'm ignoring him. So that was August of 2017. By September of 2017, me and my ex-boyfriend had broke up because when you're in a relationship and hands get put on each other or you start disrespecting each other, calling each other out of your name, at that point, the relationship is over. So at that point, my ex-boyfriend, he disrespected me. So I had to put hands on him. So therefore, the relationship was over. So me and him broke up. So I was heartbroken, trying to get over my ex or whatever, because he was a good dude, you know. He was a really good dude. So I was really heartbroken over that. Like when I say good dude, the only guy that's ever bought me flowers, not took me on dates, but we went on dates. Like it was a real relationship, the only real relationship I had. So anyway, at that time. So anyway, till this day. But anyway, so once we did that, I was heartbroken over my ex. I'm not gonna say his name. I was heartbroken over my ex, and so I text Timothy. I'm like, hey, what you doing? Can I have you back? And he was like, oh, I never left. You know, just trying to waste time to get over one person. So I started entertaining Timothy. So he came, fast forward a few days later, he came over my apartment. He was supposed to help me and my sister move because me and my sister was moving into a new apartment at that time. He was supposed to help us move because my sister was 6 months pregnant. And so he was to help us move everything, the dressers, the beds, the sofa, tables, all that. However, he gonna lie to my he got called into work just so he can get out of helping us move. That was the first red flag. No, at this point, that's like the third red flag. So he dipped on us, and me and my sister had to move into our apartment by ourselves with no help. So a few days go by. This is now September 2017. A few days go by, and I'm in my new apartment, and he decided to come over. He was supposed to move in with me, but he didn't move in with me. I don't know why I just told him to move in anyway. He was living with his mama. All he moved in my house was a box of clothes, a TV, and his Xbox. That was all he moved in. But that was all he moved in. So anyway, he wasn't, even though he was supposed to move in, he wasn't there like every day. He was there for like every time he got paid, which was every 2 weeks. He'd be there for about 3-4 days. Then soon his money run out, he would go to, because he was taking lifts to work. Soon his money run out, he would go back to his mama's house, which he was living at, so she can give him rides to work and stuff like that. So in the beginning, it was cool. Like the first date, we went to Juan's. It was like this Mexican place. I paid for it. We went to the movies. I paid for it. We went out to eat, and we went to the movies on our first date together while he was living with me. I paid for it. However, that same day before we was about to go out on the date, I looked at his shoes, and he had on some busted up, beat up Timbs. And I was like, no, you're not about to be seen with me like that with those shoes on. So I said, no. So we went to the store, and I bought him some new shoes. I bought him some Jordans because he had on some Timbs, but they was busted up and beat up, and he just thought he was the flyest. I'm like, yeah, I got my Timbs. Well, I got some, and I'm like, them raggedy things. He's like, well, I got some Adidas in my book bag. Them junks was turned up, bent up. I said, nah, you not about to be seen with me in public like this. So I bought him some shoes, some Jordans. So we, after I bought him the shoes, he put it on for the date. We went out to eat. Mind you, I'm 20 years old. He 25. You should know better than me wearing them bent up, beat up shoes. But anyways, you know what? He just thought he was the shit. He wasn't. Like, oh my goodness. I'm just pissed off at myself that I really let him do me like that. But anyway, went to the date, had fun. I paid for everything. A few weeks later, he took me on a date. He paid. We went out to eat. No, we went to the movies to watch that Medea Boo movie that was out at the time in 2017. That came out in October. So this is now October. So yeah, probably like the beginning of October. So we went out. He took me out to the movies. He paid. Then we tried to go out to eat, but they was closed. So we just took a lift, and we went to the cookout drive-thru, and we got something to eat, and then we went back to my apartment. We ate, we chilled, we went to sleep after that. So, you know, we had a good time. In the beginning, it was cool. He bought me a necklace. It was a really pretty necklace. He spent a lot of money on it too. So like in the beginning, it was cool. Then fast forward to like the beginning of October. At this time, a few days into October, you know, he sleep in my bed, and, you know, when he went to sleep, I decided to go through his phone. I went through his phone, and I found out he was texting this girl. Mind you, at the time, I'm just thinking, I didn't know. When he told me who she was, he was like, an ex. But come to find out, it was his ex-fiance that he didn't tell me about. So I'm like, why is you texting this girl? I went through his phone. I see him texting the girl, so he was asleep. So I woke him up out of his sleep. I smacked him awake. So when he woke up, I'm like, who is this girl that you DMing on Instagram? And he was like, I don't know what you talking about. Mind you, he telling the girl that he want to be with her. He's still in love with her. They can be friends. The girl telling him, no, you got a girlfriend. Just leave me alone. And he's just like begging to get her back. Mind you, he sent the messages while I laid up in my bed because, yes, I went through the timestamps and I went through the date. So I found out he was doing it right there in front of my face. So when I confronted him on about it, he was like, he was playing clueless, like, what? He looking at the messages, talking about something. What? I don't see nothing. What are you talking about? Like, nigga, now you playing dumb? You know what I'm talking about. You reading the messages. Why are you acting clueless? So he continued to act clueless, so I told him, you gotta go. We got into an argument. I threw his Xbox at the wall. It broke, and I'm like, you gotta go. He proceeds to sit on the floor in my room by the closet door and cry. So I felt sorry for him. I felt sorry for him because he was crying. So since he was crying, you know, I was like, well, I tried to comfort him. I'm like, you know what? You ain't got to go. He was just like, oh, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. I won't do it again. I'm like, cool. So I comfort him, and then he got up. He got up off the floor, got back in the bed. I told him to get back in the bed. Got back in the bed. We did some stuff. We went back to sleep. Fast forward a few days later, the girl, he on the phone with her in the bathroom, in my bathroom, brushing his teeth, talking about laughing in a kikiing, talking about, oh, tell your mama I said, hey. So I'm sitting there on my bed waiting till you get off the phone. And I'm like, who is you talking to? Tell your mama you said, hey, you just a kikiing, cockeying. Like, what's funny? I want to laugh too. Oh, it's just nobody, you know. I said, it's just an old friend. And I'm like, well, who is she? Oh, you know, we just got some stuff. She had to call me because we got the lawyer. She needed to give me some information about the lawyer. Mind you, it was because they had a case or something that happened back in 2015 with a situation, with the situation. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, who is it? And he's like, you know, I'm not going to say the girl name up here because I ain't giving her no clout on my channel. But he's like, oh, so-and-so. And I'm like, that same girl you was DMing? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, so your ex-girlfriend. He like, oh, yeah, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, so you just steady playing in my face. Let it slide. A few days later, you know, we chilling. He's sleeping. I went through his phone again because I'm nosy, yes. I went through his phone again. This time, I went to check Snapchat, and it was some girls up there Snapchatting him some nudes. And I had viewed it. I had viewed the Snapchat. And so I seen it, and I'm like, I woke him up, and I'm like, why, shorty, why are you getting nudes from somebody, and you supposed to be in a relationship with me, and you up in my house? And this is how you treat me after I'm sitting here buying you shoes, taking you on date, buying you clothes, and you tell me, oh, nobody ever bought me nothing. You was the only person that ever bought me something. You the only person that ever took me on dates. And this is how you treat me? He want to play dumb tomorrow. I don't know why she's sending me nudes. I said, so you don't know why. That means you was talking to her. She's sending you nudes. Oh, I haven't talked to her in a minute. I said, so she just randomly Snapchat you a picture of her cat. And he like, yeah. Like I'm dumb. I might have been 20 years old, 5 years younger than you. He was 25. I might have been young, but I wasn't dumb. I wasn't born that night. So I'm like, you know what? Okay, cool, whatever. The cheating continued, you know. So at this point, after months, like a month into it, you know, the cheating continues. And at this point, I'm just like fed up. I'm just like, you know what? I'm over it. You're making me sick to my stomach. So I was working at a warehouse, and at a warehouse, I met this dude. Me and the dude became really close. When he would talk to me at work and stuff like that. Mind you, now I am working at the warehouse where me and my ex-boyfriend I was talking about in the beginning of the story. Me and my ex-boyfriend work. So it was mad tense at work having to see him every day in the same area because we worked in the same department. So, you know, my ex told the guy about me, and the guy came up to me and was like, hey, you dated so-and-so? And I'm like, yeah, why? He's like, yeah, because he told me, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, okay. So me and this dude, we started talking, having conversations at work casually, whatever. Then he asked me, did I have a boyfriend? I'm like, yeah. So I showed him my baby daddy page, my ex at the time. I showed him his page. And we was at work. We was laughing at his pictures together because my baby daddy, he just like he was in a picture with chappy, ashy lips, a nappy head, like not even to sit here and come up here and bash him like that, but y'all see. Anyways, we'll get to why I don't like him as of today. So anyway, as me and this dude continued to talk over days, he would started giving me rides home because I was catching lifts and taking the bus to work. And then like the bus only go a certain route. So you have to get off and walk down a long street just to get to that warehouse. So this dude started giving me rides home from work and stuff like that. So I'm getting a ride home from work with him. Cool. You know, I'm saving money. My legs no longer hurting because I'm on my feet for 10 hours a day anyway. So when I started getting rides, I was grateful for that, you know. So as my friend, he started giving me rides and stuff. As days, weeks went on, I started catching feelings for Alan, for him. And so I was still in a relationship with Timothy. However, I did check out because I kept getting cheated on and I just didn't want that no more. So I did check out mentally of the relationship and started looking at other options. Me and this dude, we had I started catching feelings for him. He was treating me nice, giving me rides to and from work. He would pick me up, take me to work because we was working there together. You know, we get off. He bought me Chick-fil-A one time. And I came home with it after our shift because I was working overnight. It was 11 to 7. And I came home with Chick-fil-A the next morning. And my baby daddy's man was like, why you ain't buy me no Chick-fil-A? I want Chick-fil-A too. I'm like, I didn't even buy this for myself. What do you get mad for? Do you ever buy me Chick-fil-A? Mind you, you was up in my bed, Kiki and Kai to tell Shorty to buy you some Chick-fil-A. Like, no. So he was mad I didn't buy him no Chick-fil-A. I didn't care. I brushed it off. Anyway, a few days, you know, like I said, my baby daddy will only come over when he just get paid and he'll stay for a few days. That money had ran out, so he went back to his mama's house. And he would be over next 2 weeks. We can get paid again. So when he went back to his mama's house, me and Alan, we decided to do it. One day when we got off from work, we decided to do it. So he came over in the morning after we dropped off. When we got off from work, he came in the house with me and we did it. We used protection. However, Alan left the condom on the floor by my trash can. Instead, he put it in the trash can and I never saw it. I didn't see it. Once after me and Alan did it, whatever, we got close. We was texting. I had caught feelings for him, like I said. So a few days after that, this was October, me and Alan did it. So after that, you know, my baby daddy came over again. Things was cool. It was chill. I'm not really worried about it. My baby dad was coming over. We was doing it every single day, basically. So fast forward to mid-November, it was like a couple of days before Thanksgiving, I found out I was pregnant with my first child. My baby daddy seemed like he was happy at the time. However, as days went on, things started to spiral downhill. So at this point, found out I'm pregnant towards the mid-November. He came with me to my Thanksgiving dinner from my family house or whatever. Things was okay. Fast forward to December, it was about Christmas Eve. And my baby daddy decides he want to pick a fight with me. Mind you, I'm now like almost a month pregnant. He decided he wanted to pick a fight with me and break up with me. And I'm like, why are you doing all this on Christmas Eve? Oh, I don't want to be with you because somebody randomly texted me talking about you effing them. Mind you, I was only talking to Alan. Alan didn't have his number. So who will be randomly texting you talking about I'm effing them and don't nobody even know that I know you? So he decided to pick a fight with me and break up with me on Christmas Eve. So I'm like, okay, cool. Tried to talk to him about it. He didn't want to hear nothing. he just randomly started to fight with me to break up with me. So as days go on, the next day, Christmas, he was supposed to come over. He did not come over. Somebody in his family died, so he went over there. He didn't come with me to my Christmas dinner. So, you know, a few days after that, even though he broke up with me, he came back over to the crib. And I gave him his Christmas gift, and he did not get me nothing. And I'm telling him, oh, you know. He's like, oh, I didn't get you nothing. I'm like, it's cool. Because I already had bought his Christmas gift before we had broke up. I'm like, it's cool. As time went on, you know, like towards the end of December, like we got into an argument because he wanted me to get him a lift home. And I'm like, I'm not getting you no lift. I'm not getting you no Uber. It's not my job to get you to and from work. You're a grown man. You're 25. I'm 20 years old. And you think you about to depend on me? And I can't depend on you for nothing? No. So I told him, no, I'm not getting you no lift home. Figure it out. Call your mama. Do something.